Blog post 1. If you're reading this, you're crazy too. To quote one of my absolute faves, the Kenneth Eze, I'm not just interested in making something pretty. It has to be personal too. That is exactly what No Style is to me. Personal. I want every piece that you purchase, touch, and feel to be meaningful. This is a part of me. Now let's get off the mush and let me tell you how this beautiful mess all got started. About a year and a half ago, I began wanting a lot more for myself. Have you ever gone through a period where you know you could be doing more, but you're not quite sure of what it looks like or even where to get started? Yeah, that was me. I was aimlessly putting together ideas with no rhyme or reason, but I knew that the basis was fashion. I had an array of ideas, but I had no real purpose for them. A bunch of noodles, but no wall to stick them to. So late spring of last year, 2019, I impulsively decided that I needed a photo shoot of a few looks that I put together just to add to my portfolio. I didn't know how I would use the pics, but I had hoped that I would figure it all out. Yet and still, after the shoot, I still had no real direction. The photos were amazing, but I couldn't figure out what I should be doing with them. And then my life was changed forever. June 18th rolled around, and y'all, I had been waiting anxiously for my period to come. I was late and freaking out. My best friend came over, and she could see in my eyes that I was terrified. I peed on the stick, and she read the results. I was going to be a mommy. So many emotions ran through my body at that exact moment. I couldn't explain the joy, fear, and excitement. This also explained why I chomped down an entire steak that day while at work. But just like that, I switched my focus and I turned off No Style with no hopes of returning. I watched my ever-growing belly, every kick, talked to my baby, and couldn't even begin to look at my pre-baby clothes. No way. I wasn't at all interested. It was all about comfort. If it didn't stretch, I didn't want to wear it. My son was born on February 15th at 2:50 p.m. and I couldn't have been happier. I didn't think that I could feel that much love. Literally, it was inexplicable. I knew then that I wanted to give him the best life possible. No excuses. Once I returned home, I stood in the mirror, looked at my naked postpartum body, and I cried. Y'all, I selfishly cried. I mean, here I am being a mommy. I've just given birth, which is the experience of a lifetime, by the way. Women are so dope. And I'm trying to figure out how to get back to my pre-baby weight by any means necessary. First of all, this wasn't smart at all. It was probably more harmful than anything. I crash dieted, sending my body into an absolute frenzy because these hormones ain't no joke. I would often imagine my body being like, hold up, girl, you big tripping. And me on the other end trying to negotiate why I needed to keep going to get back to my absolute finest. None of it worked, and I entered a state of depression. But what's weird was that I didn't know it. I wasn't crying every day or manic. I smiled when I felt the need. My emotions were stable, right? I just hate me. Wait. I hate me. I hate me? Dang, that's real. I was so reliant on my exterior that when the time came, I literally trash-talked myself. It was bad. Until I felt worthless. You're so dumb. You're never going to be able to raise this baby. You can't lose this weight. You can't do anything right. And the list goes on and on. I had never been spoken to this way, so why did it come so easy for me? How? I needed to learn to love me again. One step at a time, I began to negate those comments. I had to cheer myself on for the little achievements in my life. Girl, you reached for the salad instead of the ice cream? Go, Ray. Go, Ray. It might seem silly or cheesy, but it worked. I was the crazy person talking to myself all day. You got this, sis. Then there came a day that I sat with my best friend, honey, because it takes a village, okay? And we watched the show, Girl Boss. I highly recommend it. And I remember her saying that the main character, Sophia, and I were similar. I watched the show and watched this girl grind her way to the top. Not at all conventionally, but I did see myself in her. I really did. Sophia used eBay to sell thrifted items, and I had recently become so obsessed with Depop. I absolutely love thrifting, but Rona hit the pause button, and so I had to resort to Depop, virtual thrifting. I hadn't even really thought about selling on the site. I just remember my best friend saying, "You can do this." I had a brief moment of disbelief. Then just like that, y'all, her voice turned into my voice telling me, "You can do this." And I haven't looked back since. I ran upstairs, tried on every outfit that I could, and created my Depop account. The next day, I posted pics of items that I wanted to sell. And I knew immediately that I wanted more from this experience. Hence, this site. Yes, I love clothing and I want to focus a great deal on that in style, but there's a home and tipple section for a reason. Only a few items right now, but trust, the growth and ideas are real because it has to start internally. This crazy journey has only just begun to show me the tip of the iceberg in terms of my capabilities. So shop with me. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. I want to hear your stories. And I can only hope that if you're reading this, you're crazy about your dream too. Love you, Ray.